circumstances. West Yorkshire Sport, 6:34. Let's talk about a sport we don't feature too much on West Yorkshire Sport Daily. Summertime is when it's usually played. The sun's out, sangria flowing quite possibly, and now we're even permitted to fly to some parts of Spain again for a holiday in a few weeks if you're lucky enough. If you were to do so, one thing you could do is pack your trainers, shorts and a racket and have a game of the very popular game, especially over in Spain, which is called paddle. Now, the great thing for many of us who will be having a staycation this year, we can play paddle right here on our doorstep in West Yorkshire. There have been courts in Huddersfield for 8 years now, and they are going to be relaunched with an added bonus of a double canopy roof over one particular facility we're going to talk about now. Celebrities like former men's Wimbledon champion Andy Murray of tennis and rugby star Jonathan Davis have been part of a group of investors who are pumping more than £1 million into improving paddle facilities around the UK, including at Huddersfield Lawn Tennis, Squash and Paddle Club, where one of the beneficiaries is their chairman and all members, Pete Emsell, who joins us now on West Yorkshire Sport Daily. Good evening to you, Peter.
Good evening. Good evening, Paul. Hello.
And this sounds like a very exciting opportunity for a sport which has been steadily increasing in popularity and accessibility over the last few years, thanks to yours and others' efforts at Huddersfield Lawn Tennis, Squash and Paddle Club. But you need to explain to us, especially for those who are listening for the first time on the sport, what on earth is paddle? Give us a two or three sentence description of it in a nutshell.
Well, if you could imagine a half-sized tennis court with 4 walls made up of glass and wire mesh with a net in the middle, that kind of summarises the footprint of it. It's ideally played by 4 players, but you can play 2 quite easily. It's the most easiest game in the world to start playing, nowhere near as hard as tennis or squash, although it's a mixture of the 2 of them together. As you say, it's very, very big in Spain and South America. There's over 12 million players worldwide playing it. And this court's going up all over the UK at the moment. But the big problem with Huddersfield, as you well know, is it rains a lot in Huddersfield. So over the last 8 years, I mean, there's been some fabulous evenings when we've played like the one tonight. And then there's been other ones where it's just siled itself down and we can't play, which has really been disappointing from people away. We have visitors from Sheffield, Hull, Manchester, and they don't set off coming if they know it's going to rain. So that's been the big bugbear up to now, but that's about to change.
And how much more profile in the north? They sound like quite long distances people are prepared to travel to play your sport, Pete. How helpful will it be to enhance the facility that you're offering already?
Well, that was one of the location where we are, obviously Huddersfield on the M62 and the M1 junction there with Bradford, Leeds, Manchester, Sheffield in that kind of conurbation, that triangle there. That was one of the things. There are other courts. There's one in Middlesbrough, which is a long, long way from where we are. I understand that Harrogate are looking at building a canopy over their court there. But we're the only one, really, in the north, and that's why we was asked to submit a business case to work with. And the company you've been talking about earlier is a company called Game for Paddle, G4P. Big investors looking to enlarge their footprint throughout the whole of the UK. So we're quite fortunate to got the opportunity, which we grabbed with both hands, really.
Your ambition, assumedly, Pete, is to become a northern hub of paddle in competition with Middlesbrough and other places like that?
Well, it's sort of, in competition, but also very interesting to set up local leagues. So Middlesbrough versus Huddersfield versus Harrogate. So, growing that footprint, I think there's 2 or 3 courts in Edinburgh and Cardiff. So a national league sort of emerging, if you like, with one of our coaches, Nick Holloway, will be tasked in building up that profile and also building up participation levels. So, for instance, if you never played the game whatsoever and you wanted a beginner's course, then Nick's a man, he will set it up for you and show you how to play. If you'd already played it on holiday and you want to improve, we can do that. But also, one interesting thing about it is a real cardio workout. If you want a real cardio workout, if you're a squash player or a racquetball player, then come along to Nick, because Nick will say, when people ask him, what should I bring? He just says, bring plenty of liquids because you're going to need it. And he can run around the court, lob in, drop in, drive in. And so a real cardio workout for people who enjoy that sort of stuff.
That's fabulous. So beginners welcome. And a little bird's told me that Jonas Russell, the Huddersfield Town goalkeeper, Jordan Rhodes, ex-striker, these days at Sheffield Wednesday, of course, they've actually been down and had a go themselves, have they?
They have, yeah. And Alan Lee, around the same time as when Jordan, just after Jordan left, both of them came up, and I had the pleasure of playing with them, really. And Jordan had never played before in his life, Jordan Rhodes, and so we started playing. And I thought, well, I can old man him here, put him in the back corners. He'll never get it. He'll never get it out. Anyway, he's not a Premiership multi-million-pound striker for nothing. I've never seen anyone leap so high to take one of my lobs, and he must have been so-and-so. I know. His feet must have been 3 foot off the ground, but never been seen at our club before. But yeah, he really enjoyed it. And there's also some of the other places around that I've got. Well, they're sort of private clubs. Is a Man City football ground. They've got an indoor covered court, money no object. Pep Guardiola and his staff have got a court there. Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool in their training ground have got an indoor paddle court. So it's mushrooming and growing, but the indoor canopy is the thing that will be the game changer for it, Paul, in this country. For sure.
Absolutely fascinating. How the people will be listening to you that really fancy the cardio workout for a start, especially after the lockdown circumstances we've all been living under recently, Pete. How would people get in touch in the first place, privately, online? Just have a little look at your website, maybe. Is there a website you can give us, or Twitter?
Yeah, we've got a website. It's hltsc.co.uk.
HLTSC.
HLTSC, Huddersfield Lawn Tennis Squash Club. We've got a Facebook site, which again, Huddersfield Lawn Tennis. Or you can ring the office. It's a Huddersfield number, 01484 422 541. It's pay and play, so you don't have to be a member of our club. You can just come along and play. The cost, £6 each for 4 of you, £24 for a court. And we can provide bats and balls, so you don't need the equipment to start. You just need to come along, and you'll get a friendly invite from us and the coach, and you're away and running.
Is the opportunity going to be limited in the circumstances where, assumedly, work is going to begin on the facilities expansion, Peter? Is that going to start soon and maybe hamper things a little bit?
Well, we've got our plans almost drawn up. We've got planning permission to submit for the covered canopy. I shouldn't call it a court, it's a canopy. Got to get the planners on the right side to start with. And we think it'll be ready by autumn, ready for some poorer weather and into winter. So we're hoping decent weather. We can use the courts as they are now. They're a little bit, they've been up there 8 years, as you said earlier. They're starting to wear a little bit, but they are okay. And come autumn, we've got a big installation where they're going to lift the canopy, drop it on top of the existing 2 courts, put a cover over it and some side screens, so it'll be watertight and wind resistant for playing throughout the year, really.
Well, if you found something to combat the Huddersfield natural climate, then more power to your elbow, Pete Emmett, because that's something we've all been battling against. And I'm thinking of the cricket boundary edge and all sorts of stuff. Really brilliant to have you on the show tonight. And good luck, Pete, with the expansion, not just of your paddle facility at Huddersfield Lawn Tennis Squash and Paddle Club, but of the sport itself, which once you get Olympic status, then we'll have you on the show and you can do a special for us, a noddy guide to paddle and its elite athletes. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and we'll have to get you down there, Paul. Get you hitting some rackets and having a workout, a cardio.
I'll tell you what, a cardio workout like that would probably finish me off. I can promise you that, my friend.
I've seen you on the bike. You're a bit of an athlete. I know that.
Pete, thank you for getting me into hot water as usual and to setting me a challenge that I probably won't be able to make. But it's really great to have you on the show. You continue your excellent work.
Okay then, yeah. Cheers then.
West Yorkshire Sport